Hi, I'm Plastic Man. Welcome to the show. I am a superhero and quite possibly the best superhero there is. Right, Chief?
Frankly, no.
She's just kidding, really. And now, on to our first adventure.
From out of the pages of DC Comics comes
Aquaman, Batman, Superman,
Green Lantern,
Plastic Man.
In today's video, we're going to unbox the brand new McFarlane's Plastic Man wave figures. There's Batman, Aquaman, Superman, Green Lantern, and Plastic Man. I was super excited to find out McFarlane was releasing a Plastic Man figure. And I grew up in the 70s, 80s, and I love watching Plastic Man cartoon. Back in, I think it came out in 1979. So I'm happy for this figure. Unfortunately, he's a builder figure, so I needed to get the rest of these figures. But hopefully, they're good figures, but let's check them out. Let's do this. All right, first up the bat, we have Batman. No pun intended. Well, okay, maybe a little bit, but I like him. I think he looks pretty good. Is it a figure I would have purchased if it didn't have the Build-A-Figure? Probably not. But I like the look of him. He looks pretty good. I like the yellow bat symbol and the yellow belt. Kind of reminds me of 1989 Michael Keaton Batman. Obviously not the size. It's more of a Justice League size Batman. I am definitely not an expert on Batman styles of the comics and which version this would be. But I like it. It'll look good on my shelf for the time being until I run out of room and have to put him in a box and maybe let my nephew play with him or something. But I like him. He's pretty good. But let me know in the comments, is this something you would pick up or a pass for you? Definitely have no problem posing this figure. I think he poses very well. And he comes with an accessory. The accessory, it's kind of a plain grappling gun, I believe, but not bad. Next up the bat, we have Aquaman. And I'm not going to lie, I really like this figure. I think he looks really good. He comes with a prosthetic hand. I believe this hand changes shape. I'm not an expert on DC, but I did a little research beforehand. And no pun intended on that one, but maybe a little. But I think it looks good. I think this is it, right? Is this the version where he can change shape on that prosthetic hand? Overall, the figure looks pretty cool. Let me know in the comments, is this something that you would pick up? Again, I don't know if I would pick it up if it didn't have that Build-A-Figure part, but putting this figure in hand and taking it out, checking them out, it's growing on me. This line, this wave is definitely growing on me, and I'm happy to have them in my collection. And again, these guys pose pretty well. Next up, we have a blue version of Superman. I have no idea about this character. I know Superman, obviously, but I don't know anything about this version of Superman. Let me know in the comments, who is this? Is this actually Superman, or is this just somebody else from Krypton? He looks pretty good. It's definitely not a figure I would purchase. I believe there's a chase version of him in red. I wonder what that one looks like. I mean, he looks good, don't get me wrong, but I don't know anything about this character. And for now, I'll put him on my shelf, but I don't think he's going to last. He's probably going to end up in a bin. Definitely poses good. I mean, it's a great looking figure if you like this version of Superman. Again, I have no idea about it. So let me know in the comments. Kind of school me a little bit. Who is this Superman? He does come with some pretty cool effects that you can attach. I'm not really sure. I'm assuming they go on each leg and each arm. Next up, we have John Stewart as Green Lantern. And I grew up in the 70s, so Hal Jordan was my Green Lantern. I don't know a whole lot about John Stewart. Looks great, don't get me wrong. The costume looks fantastic. I think the head sculpt looks great. The texture on the suit looks fantastic. So, for a Green Lantern figure, if you like John Stewart, I think this is a really good version of him. Again, Hal Jordan was my Green Lantern when I grew up in the 70s. But this figure's pretty good. Would I have picked it up without the Build-A-Figure part? Probably not. But let me know, what do you think of these figures? They are growing on me, don't get me wrong. I really am happy that I almost kind of forced to get these figures because they do look great, and they do look great on my shelf for my DC collection. I'll show you that at the end of the video. It does come with some effects, which is good. And here we have the Star of the Wave, Plastic Man. Yes! I am so happy to have a Plastic Man in my collection. Now, he comes with a few extra body parts. There are definitely some issues with this figure that I do not like. I'll let you know that in a few minutes. But we're going to take a look at this figure up close. Let's take a look at the head sculpt. And I think the head sculpt is more of a realistic version of Plastic Man. And I like it. I think it looks pretty good. His outfit is definitely Plastic Man. And he's got no shoes on, just like the original. But look at that hand. That little small hand and a big hand. That thing just gives me the creeps.
These are delicious.
Well, thank you, my child. I made them by hand. Okay.
Now that was pretty creepy. Let's get back to Plastic Man. One of the things I really like about this figure is his sunglasses. I like the fact that there is a reflection of a building on the lenses of the sunglasses. I believe they come out with a Spider-Man figure like that. Figure poses great. I love the fact that they stayed true to the outfit. They didn't try to give him pants. They didn't try to change him up. This looks like a realistic version of the cartoon or comic book Plastic Man. So I like the fact that they kept it real. They didn't try to change anything. But what do you say? We're going to transform this Plastic Man. And here he is with his stretched neck. He has a different look on his face, but you can see the reflection of the building on those sunglasses. Unfortunately, his fingers look all creepy, man. I'm not a big fan of either, but and those two fingers are stuck together. I wish the arms were bendable. They don't have to have articulation, but I wish they were bendable. Overall, I think it's a decent wave. I think all the figures look really good. Plastic Man, obviously, you know my opinion on that. He is the star of the show. But what do you say? Let's have some fun with this green screen.
From under the pages of DC Comics comes the world's newest and greatest superhero, Plastic Man.
I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, do all that good stuff. Remember, we are all Geek Strong. Take care, everyone.
Oh, unless you take my hand.
No, give me your other hand.
Oh, my other hand isn't strong enough. You take my little hand.
No, get it away from me.